There have been numerous shifts in WWE's direction and schedule under Triple H's leadership since he came to power. He is ignoring the economics of other promotions with his new show, according to veteran journalist Bill Apter. On July 29, WWE Unreal will make its Netflix debut. It seems like the show will take a look behind the scenes of the industry, following celebs as they work and providing an explanation of the creative process. Bill Apter claims that this will accidentally hurt other ads that would rather their target demographic not know this. Apter made the following statement when appearing on Mac Davis's most recent edition of the Wrestling Time Machine. Jake the Snake Roberts, a living legend, thinks it's a total waste of time to launch the new show. Jake stated on the Snake Pit that the company will suffer permanent harm as a result of this, and that it should not be justified by any amount of profit. When the new program debuts, it will be interesting to see how fans react. There aren't many figures as recognizable as Triple H in the dynamic sport of professional wrestling. Paul Levesque, better known as the 14-time WWE World Champion, has been an influential figure in the industry for more than 20 years. Since becoming a more prominent member of WWE's executive leadership, Triple H has cemented his position as a legendary wrestler. His responsibilities now include directing the developmental system and NXT. The wrestling community, however, is deeply divided on the matter, as is typical with any change in leadership or artistic focus. There are those who feel that Triple H's recent actions have damaged professional wrestling in ways that aren't always obvious but might have long-term consequences for both the industry and its fans. The impact of Triple H on the wrestling industry, a veteran's view. A respected veteran of the pro wrestling industry, who requested anonymity for this piece, delivered a frank assessment of Triple H's recent moves at WWE in an exclusive interview. What Triple H is doing with WWE right now is doing more harm than good, the veteran said, providing an unheard-of viewpoint from inside the organization. The industry will suffer in the long run as a result of his management of the talent pool, the current portrayal of WWE, and his influence over important decisions. According to this veteran's analysis, Triple H's influence, particularly since he has become more involved in the creative side of the company, has caused WWE to veer away from its original, larger-than-life approach that made it the global juggernaut it is today. Instead, they argue that WWE under Triple H's watch is growing more corporate, structured, and sterile. WWE has lost its edge, the veteran continued. The unpredictability, the freedom that made WWE so special, especially during the Attitude Era and the early 2000s, is gone. Now it's all about making things safe for the audience, rather than taking risks. That's what wrestling fans want. Danger, excitement, something that feels real. The rise of NXT and Triple H's influence on talent development. Triple H's most significant mark on the wrestling world, especially in recent years, is his development of NXT. The brand's emphasis on in-ring wrestling, along with an emphasis on younger talent, led to NXT becoming WWE's developmental territory that rivaled its main roster shows. Under his leadership, NXT became known for introducing top-tier wrestling matches and was often considered the cooler product compared to the main roster shows, which led to a substantial following. However, this focus on in-ring performance came at the cost of what many fans felt made wrestling great, larger-than-life characters and storylines that felt organic and engaging. The veteran continued, NXT became all about wrestling, but at some point, wrestling became too much of a sport and not enough of a spectacle. You need that balance, and Triple H got too focused on the wrestling side of things. It's why certain talents, despite being incredibly talented in the ring, have struggled on the main roster. They don't have the personalities to match up with the WWE vision, and that's where Triple H failed. While NXT is credited with creating stars like Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Johnny Gargano, it also had its share of criticisms, especially when it came to integrating those wrestlers onto the main roster. The transition from NXT to WWE main roster for many stars has been problematic, with the veteran noting that Triple H's vision for NXT doesn't always mesh with the larger vision for WWE's TV programming. You can't just have good wrestling, the veteran pointed out. You need to have entertainment. That's the key. And Triple H, for all his great work, doesn't understand that balance sometimes. He built up NXT with the best wrestlers, but he forgot that you also need characters who can sell tickets. The impact on WWE's main roster and brand identity. One of the biggest concerns for critics of Triple H's direction is the way WWE's main roster shows have evolved under his leadership. Vince McMahon, for all his faults, had a clear understanding of WWE's core identity, larger-than-life characters and captivating stories. From characters like The Rock, Steve Austin, and The Undertaker to the iconic gimmicks that define each wrestler, Vince McMahon understood how to make wrestling feel special. Triple H, however, has been criticized for toning down the extravagance of WWE programming. The veteran said, Triple H, in his push to modernize WWE and streamline things, has made everything feel formulaic. The characters aren't as creative. The storylines are more structured, less engaging. Fans want spontaneity. The moments that take your breath away. And right now, WWE isn't giving fans that. The veteran's words are not without merit. Many wrestling fans have expressed disappointment in the current roster's lack of iconic characters, and how WWE is leaning more towards athleticism rather than engaging personalities. Superstars like Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, and Edge are certainly popular, but they are also increasingly seen as part of the corporate formula that Triple H has put in place. The shift toward a corporate WWE. In the eyes of the veteran, Triple H's WWE is becoming more corporate, less about the wild, rebellious spirit of wrestling that once defined it. Look at how WWE treats their talent now. Everything is controlled. The storylines are sterilized. There's no more real sense of chaos, no unpredictability, the veteran explained. Vince McMahon used to be in the trenches with the talent, making decisions on the fly. Triple H? He's too focused on making everything look clean and polished. You lose the edge when everything's so controlled. The veteran's argument also touches on how WWE has become increasingly intertwined with major corporate sponsors and networks, focusing on maintaining a family-friendly image. While WWE's global reach is undeniable, the veteran believes it has come at a cost, something that Triple H, despite his talents, has been unable to address. So, what does the future hold for WWE? Will Triple H's influence continue to hurt the business, as some critics claim? It's hard to say, but the veteran's assessment of the situation offers an eye-opening perspective on how WWE is being shaped today. The future of wrestling, especially in WWE, is at a crossroads, the veteran concluded. Triple H is incredibly talented, but he's got to realize that wrestling is not just about the wrestling. It's about entertainment. It's about passion. And it's about the unpredictability that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Whether or not Triple H takes this critique to heart remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the world of professional wrestling will continue to evolve, and it will be fascinating to see if Triple H's leadership can find the right balance between the artistry of wrestling and the spectacle that the WWE has always represented. Fans will continue to watch, but the question remains, will WWE find its edge again?